Hey guys, welcome back to JCW Outdoors. A couple weeks ago, maybe it's been a month or so, I can't remember, but I put together a video based on if I was coming to South Dakota for the first time to hunt pheasants, where would I begin kind of the online scouting process. I showed you the Game Fish and Parks public atlas, the different types of public ground to look for in various areas. Today I'm going to take a little drive, go out to a few public parcels that I hunt, and just kind of show you things that I'm looking for before the season begins. So when I get out and start hunting, I'll have an idea of what that particular parcel looks like. So anyway, again, I hope this is helpful, and I think I'm at 9 days until the South Dakota resident opener. Cannot wait. All right, here we go. Alright, so this is the first spot we are at. We're looking at a waterfowl production area. You know, federal land has been set aside for nesting for waterfowl. Obviously it's great for pheasants as well. A couple things to keep in mind. Pheasants are a mercurial bird. It's tough to pattern them exactly. I hope the wind isn't too bad for this. But you know, they have to survive, all right? And that involves staying safe from predators, being able to reproduce safely, being able to eat, and being able to withstand the elements. With waterfowl production areas, they don't offer much by way of food once you get into November. Now this time of year, you can see, you know, here's a thistle, there's not much for seeds on that, but there are other prairie plants that they can eat on that will keep them alive. So when I look at an area like this, I've got pasture on 3 sides of it, and on the other side it looks like there's soybeans over there. Maybe a little bit farther there's some corn. So when it comes to food later in the season, there just is not a whole lot here for them to choose from. However, early in the season, they'll be able to get by, and with all this grass, it does provide a good nesting area. So this is a spot I would look at, you know, that from season start till about the middle of November or whenever we get snow. You can see all this grass. It's pretty good right now. We had decent moisture this spring and summer. So hunting here early to mid-season would be good. We get some snow, packs that grass down, not so much. At the same time, it wouldn't be uncommon if they can get into some of the thicker stuff along the edge of the water. But anyhow, so that's kind of what I'm thinking is, do the pheasants have what they need? So they've got nesting. And aerial habitat, somewhat aerial habitat, not real great, but when you get down along the shores and into some of the lower lying areas. But food is going to be a bit of a challenge, a little bit in the early season, some in the later season. Another thing I want to mention is it cuts off right over there. I don't know if you can see the fence on the GoPro or not, but getting back in over there would be good. You get farther back in and there's some taller grass. So, I mean, if things freeze up, the guy can cut right across there and get in. Otherwise, you'd be tasked with hiking all the way around the slough to get back in over there. But anyhow, this is a maybe spot. I've hunted it a number of times over the years. I don't think I've hunted here in about 2 or 3 years. But anyway, it's something to keep in mind when I'm out and about for a day with Sage. What do you think, Sage, huh? No? Yeah, you aren't gonna want to get back in the truck, are you? Maybe. No gun. She's ready to say, hey, let's go do it. All right, honey, kennel up. So I couldn't see it from where I was at originally, but there is a bit of corn just on the other side here. So, might be a little bit better spot than I had anticipated. All right, another waterfowl production area, one of my favorite spots. However, it was grazed this spring. So, tough, but at the same time, I do know that up and over the hill, there's a little ravine that I might be able to access that would hold a bird or two. Additionally, you can't see it from this angle right here, but next door we've got some corn. A spot like this is one where I wouldn't come and plan my all-day hunt. I mean, this is something Sage and I could go through in probably half an hour. Great spot to hunt right before sunset. The pheasants, they'll walk back in from the cornfield. They'll hunker down in the big slough grass down in the ravine, and could probably catch a bird or two down in there. So anyway, again, I don't know if this is helpful or not. I'm just trying to point out some things that I look for to anticipate, you know, going out on a hunt. It's also a lot of fun just to get out and about, see what we can see. Not the best time of day to see pheasants, but I did see a couple running across the road earlier. So anyhow, on to the next place. All right, as you guys can see there, in this waterfowl production area, got a lot of that tall golden grass. I apologize, I don't know the name of it. Perhaps someone could drop that down in the comments for me. But anyway, really good early season. Once we get the snow, it's maybe not quite as good. It doesn't provide as much protection. But at the same time, great spot to get out and just kind of push through. Particularly, again, with these waterfowl production areas, they're going to be more productive in the late afternoon and just before sunset. During the day, you know, at noon, 1 o'clock, they're probably going to be feeding, more than likely in a cornfield next door. And I'm not saying don't waste your time with it, but, you know, maybe temper your expectations. On the plus side, across the road here, I've got soybeans, and then up a little bit farther, there's the corn. So I'm not sure if you guys recognize any of this or not. This is where I shot that last pheasant of last season. I was on that side of the ravine. Sage was down in there and flushed him up and knocked him down over there. Good girl. It's kind of short just because the cattle were grazing on it, but you know, look down in those low-lying areas and there's plenty of habitat for the pheasants. The biggest bonus is going to be right here. Corn next door, food for them to eat. All right, this is the state game production area. These spots are pretty much all in one. They provide, as you can see, shelter belt, some woody habitat for aerial protection, good grass. Up ahead you've got your food plots. So really a perfect spot for pheasants. As you can imagine, if it attracts pheasants, it's going to attract hunters. But don't let that deter you, you know. Like I said, pheasants they're different. You never know exactly where they're gonna be. You can guess, and they do have somewhat of a pattern, but at the same time, you know, you can catch roosters in the short grass just like this in the middle of the day. You know, sometimes when you think they'd be in the grass, they could be grabbing a late snack in the corn. So just do what you have to do and get out and hunt. And, you know, there's pheasants out there. All a guy has to do is grab his gun and his dog and get out and go after it. All right, here we've got the state game production area. This one, this time of year, is a little bit tough because you can maybe see the trees yonder. The trees in the distance are only accessible through the water. See, there's a pretty good sized slough here. But anyway, this is one where when I do hunt it, I have to wait until the water freezes and I can walk across the ice. Or, you know, there's just a little corner here that honestly, it isn't too bad. But anyway, so your game production area is usually going to have a little bit more than a waterfowl production area. In my opinion, I think they usually have like a woody habitat. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the difference is other than the people that are paying for it or the people that purchase the land. But all right, we'll move on, see if we can't find some more public ground to point out. The walk-in area. So essentially this land is privately owned. However, the landowner has given up their hunting rights to the general public. Some of these spots can be really good. You see this one, it looks pretty decent. You know, you got some cattails, some trees in the background. I will say, you might be able to see it right over my finger there. There was some grass over there that they sprayed it, so it's all dead. Sometimes you can run into a walk-in area that's, you know, it was a soybean field and has been combined and there is nothing there to really hunt. So I would check them out before you, you know, commit to hunting that place. All right, the last type of public ground I'm going to talk about is a road right-of-way. So basically, you've got up until the fence line to hunt for pheasants. You know, here's a spot where the landowner has got sorghum, tree belts, sloughs. But anyway, great ground. One thing I will say is have good control of your dog, because if your dog technically is running out onto private land, that could get you into a little bit of trouble. Anyway, yeah, you know, early season, there's a lot of habitat here. Check it out, especially that hour right before the sun sets, and yeah, guarantee there's pheasants up in here. Hey, are you driving? You gonna drive? Then get over, come on. No, get back. Well, anyway, guys, that kind of wraps it up. This one was a little bit all over the place. Mostly what I want to get at is not all public land is created equal. And you kind of have to spend a little bit of time checking them out, both, you know, on the internet and, you know, drive around and visit and take a look at them. So shooting hours doesn't start until 10. Gives you a couple hours to go and look around. Or if you're more like me, you know, wait until 3 o'clock in the afternoon and get out and make sure you're there for that final hour. So I'm really excited for this fall. I'm always excited, and each year it seems like I'm more and more excited. But we had an easy winter last year, had a lot of moisture this spring and summer, at least here where I'm at in the northeastern part of the state. And, you know, it's pheasant season. There's always birds around. So Sage and I are gonna get out and do our best to find them. One other note I will let you guys know, and this probably bears more significance than anything I had mentioned throughout this video, harvest. If we get a hard freeze this coming week, and it looks like we have a chance, it's supposed to get down to 28 on Wednesday, I think. I'm guessing the corn's gonna be out here in a month. You know, that could certainly change, but you know, it's been cool and windy. We get that hard freeze and they'll start going on it. But anyhow, so stay tuned. I'll do my best to keep you guys apprised of what's happening, and until next time, keep your tradition alive. Thanks, guys.